Anybody just joining, feel free to share your name and institution or organization in the chat. I'll go ahead and get started. I'm Rochelle Sharp. I serve as Chief of Staff at the Department of Higher Education and Workforce Development. And I'm super excited that you all have taken the time to join us today. We've been partnering with Google to expand our free training for job seekers in the job centers, and in meeting with Caroline Levin, who serves as the head of education and workforce for Grow with Google. She shared a bit about Google's Accelerator program and noted that we've only have a handful of participating institutions from Missouri. So she has been gracious with her time and willing to meet with our institutions in this webinar format. We'll be setting up a separate meeting with our community college partners. And so we're thankful. Caroline, if I could share, you were born and raised in Missouri. So maybe that's part of your passion for helping us. We're grateful for your time, and I'll just turn it over to you.
Thanks so much for having me, Rochelle. Really excited to be here today. And yes, I am from Chesterfield, Missouri, so very excited to support Missouri institutions. I lead education and workforce for Grow with Google. Grow with Google is our economic opportunity initiative. So we help learners learn skills to land in-demand jobs, as well as advance their careers, grow their businesses, while also helping employers find the critical talent they need to thrive. So today, everything I'll share here is no cost. We understand every institution is at a different point in their AI journey, has slightly different goals. So the Accelerator program is really flexible by design. So as I go through this and you're thinking through, how does this look for my institution? Know that it could look a little bit different, and our team is here and happy to support and discuss this with you all. But I'll share everything today of what the Accelerator entails. So I'm going to present my screen here. And then we also do have Joseph from the Accelerator team in the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to either come off mute. We'll have time at the end for questions too, but I don't want you to have to hold a burning question. I know how that feels. Or you can, of course, drop it in the chat and Joseph can help throughout. Okay, great. So the focus today, of course, is helping institutions. We have four-year institutions on the call today, too. The Accelerator program is open to two-year institutions as well, but we recognize four-year institutions may have a unique goals and set of challenges in implementing AI solutions. And so we brought you all specifically on a webinar so we could discuss that. So today I'll share a little more on what is this Accelerator. We'll go over the tools and training and then discuss next steps. Okay, so at a high level, we launched the Accelerator about a year ago now to bring the best of Google's AI training and tools to colleges and universities across America at no cost. There's now over 400 participating institutions from all 50 states. And so when I say the word accelerator, it really means three things that you can see here in the blue buckets. First is no cost access to our training. I'll go in more detail of what this training is, but in short, it's the Google Career Certificates and our AI training. These are industry recognized credentials where your learners can learn in-demand skills for high growth fields. Second, it is no cost access to our AI tools. Workspace education fundamentals. So this is the enterprise grade versions of Gemini and Gemini Notebook. Gemini Notebook was formerly called Notebook LM. So if you're not familiar with the term Gemini Notebook, it is the same thing. This really means no humans reviewing your data, not being used to train our models. We'll go in a little bit more detail on that, but it has protections like FERPA. And then third, you're joining this community. So there's over 400, as I mentioned, participating institutions. So you can understand what's working for them and learn faster together. So we have a webinar series, EDU on Air, where we share best practices, and you can hear some case studies and also connect with other institutions. These are just some of the participating institutions, but we really do have a whole range from across the country and institutions of all sizes supporting all types of student bodies. And the Accelerator is for students, faculty, staff. So when you're thinking about training, If you're interested in only a subset of that, maybe students are your goal right now. That is great. If you're interested in all three of them, that is great too. So again, this is flexible in design. It can be credit seeking students, non-credit seeking students too. So lots of ways to really roll out the accelerator. Um, in terms of what you actually need to be part of the accelerator, again, it's free to join. Everything in it is free, but it's essentially for accredited institutions that are nonprofit in the U.S. So of course you're in Missouri, so you all qualify, and you can commit to either using the training or the tools or the both. We know many institutions, for example, are Microsoft shops and may not want to use the tools, or only want to use the training, or potentially only Gemini Notebook, for example, we've seen. So it's flexible in terms of what you leverage to. To be part of the accelerator, we just ask that you commit to using some element of the training or the tools, or if you'd like to, you can use both. Perhaps the most important bullet on this is an institution level program to join. So someone with signatory authority for your institution first joins, then you get access to all of the resources and you can use them as you see fit. There's a QR code there. I'll have it again at the end, but the reason I share this now before going into the resources is oftentimes people are wondering, well, how do I actually get access to this and join? And the short answer is it's really easy. There's a short form. You get a welcome note after you are accepted, but any institution that meets this criteria is accepted. There's not like a selection process. The more the merrier, essentially. We want to make these resources available for free to as many students, faculty, and staff in America as possible. Okay, so starting out here on our training. So we have sort of three buckets of training. I'll start with the Google Career Certificates. These are industry recognized credentials that prepare learners with no prior experience to become job ready for in growth, high demand fields. We work across 6 fields: cybersecurity, data analytics, digital marketing and e commerce, IT support, project management, and UX design. Now, since these are preparing learners to enter new careers, they are long and rigorous by design. So they're about 100 hours. Typically, we see these about a semester long at four-year institutions when they're embedded into curriculum. They can also be offered asynchronously. We have many universities offering these, like for example, through career centers and other formats. They're recommended by the American Council on Education for up to 16 credits. So there are also pathways to on-ramps to degrees, and we see credit for prior learning as well. But all of these are developed by Google experts with decades of experience in the field. And they include over 100 assessments where learners need over an 80% because, again, we want them to be successful on the job. They're product agnostic in nature. So we're not just teaching Google products. We teach whatever products we hear our employers say they need from their employees. So for example, in UX, we teach Figma and Adobe, two non-Google products. In digital marketing, we teach Google Analytics, of course, a Google product, but we teach Shopify, X, among many others. These are also aligned to other industry recognized certifications too. Like in cybersecurity, it aligns to the curriculum from Security Plus from CompTIA, A plus in IT support. So learners can choose to earn that dual credential if they would like, and we give them a 30% discount on that. They're very hands-on in nature. We want to ensure learners are prepared and in an interview can show them what they've done, not just talk about it. So you're not just watching videos or reading, you're doing. So you walk away, for example, with a security audit in cybersecurity or a whole portfolio in UX design. We also have stackable credentials in a couple of these fields. In the fields of data analytics, we have business intelligence and advanced data analytics. And in IT support, we have IT automation with Python. Now, learners can go straight to these if they already have that entry-level knowledge. If they don't, they can take our entry-level one and then take the more advanced one sequentially. Shifting gears, we have shorter form content, our AI courses. These also require no prior experience, but they're about 6 to 12 hours depending on the course. So these are rather than preparing you for a new job, they give you skills for any job. So these are really helpful for thinking about preparing your students for the workforce. Right now, only about 14% of Americans are actually being offered AI training at work. But 70% of managers believe that their organization's success is critical to have these AI skills. And there's even a hiring premium. In the sense, about 70% of managers also would rather hire a candidate who has AI skills than one without. So if you think about how you're setting up your students for success upon leaving your institution, it's really quite a premium when they have AI fluency. And that's exactly what the AI professional certificate was created to solve, to give learners that skill set of AI fluency. AI Essentials is more of an AI literacy course, whereas AI professional certificate is more of an AI work course that covers AI fluency. So it goes beyond the foundations of what is AI, how to use it ethically and responsibly, and it goes into the domains where AI is changing work. Brainstorming and planning, research and insights, content creation, professional communication, data analysis, and it has a vibe coding capstone project. So it's really a nice course for learners who potentially have been using chatbots now for a couple of years, but maybe haven't gone on to more advanced AI skills. And if you've been using AI in a little bit more of a sporadic way, potentially here and there, but it hasn't truly transformed your work, this course can help you really get to the point where it's AI is more of a thought partner. And learners who are AI fluent are saving around 8 hours per week. In the context of a work environment, that's really important for efficiency. I recognize in a school setting, it's perceived a little bit differently in the sense, of course, critical thinking is so important in problem solving, and those durable skills that you learn in an institution will forever be so critical. But from employers' perspective, having an extra 400 hours per year back to contribute to the organization is really key. And so this course can help employees get there. And as your students are preparing for internships or entry level jobs, this course is really a strong fit for preparing them for that. And of course, the Accelerator is eligible for faculty and staff too. So anyone at your institution can take the AI professional certificate. Accelerate your job search with AI. I'll briefly cover. It's a 6-hour course. It goes over how to network effectively with AI, how to write a cover letter, resume, think about your skills, experience, interests, and the skills gap and how to minimize that. We have a tool called Career Dreamer, and it teaches learners how to create a job search plan on sheets using AI. So lots of really great skills in the shorter form content too. The AI professional certificate does also carry a recommendation from ACE for 1 credit. So we also have some institutions who are embedding that into 2 classes, which I'll share a little bit more about how that actually works. So that's a very high level overview of our content. What we do also have a couple of things are key competencies and job mappings. So you can actually see what do these teach. If you're thinking about faculty members who might be interested in these, we can share the breakdown, the exact learning objectives course by course within each certificate, the job titles they map to. And we also have educator guides. These are optional guides for your institutions that can be really helpful for mapping out pacing across a semester. What might this actually look like in terms of a calendar year for you? And then also in terms of your syllabus and mapping it there. So this just mentions that the a Google AI professional certificate does have that ACE recommendation, but we also have these educator guides, as I noted. That AI professional certificate one is pretty cool in that it has prompts throughout that can be tailored to certain disciplines. So a lot of faculty members recognize AI skills are important, but why would I use my class time to teach this particular skill set of AI? And let's say you're a psychology professor. This a guide has these prompts where you can say what you teach. Let's say intro to psychology, who you're teaching, 25 freshmen in the College of Arts and Sciences. You upload that key competencies doc that I was sharing, and then you share what you're learning about this week in your course. Maybe we are talking about, want to talk about like ethical implications of AI on analyzing human behavior. So our normal topic would be analyzing human behavioral data. And now we're thinking about it in the implications of AI. So now instead of just teaching AI skills, you're thinking about AI in the context of your particular field. So this makes it a lot more relevant and might actually justify why it matters in that particular class. And so there's discussion topics that it can add to the course. For example, if you're doing a Gemini notebook module, now you can have a whole notebook on decision analysis paralysis or whatever that particular topic may be. Um, I'll also cover that we have over 150 employers that we partner with in our Google Employer Consortium. In addition to vetting the curriculum, they also are committed to considering graduates of the program for entry level jobs at their companies. These are just some of the logos. There's local, national, regional companies, all a part of the consortium. They use the certificates, some of them for their own upskilling and reskilling too. For example, with the AI professional certificate, Walmart, Verizon, Deloitte, Accenture are some of them that use that certificate. We were really, when we built that, working with Skills First Workforce Initiative and Burning Glass Institute to really develop a certificate that could be leveraged by major employers and meet the needs of their own AI upskilling. And so when you finish a Google career certificate, how it works is you can go on to our exclusive job platform and see which employers are looking for someone who has that particular credential. You just, excuse me, type in your zip code and can see the job opportunities of people looking for that particular credential. Um, okay, so there's a lot of ways that this can look in practice for your institutions. These are just some of them. So if you have a different idea in mind, as I've been talking, we would love to talk through that with you too. But in short, a focus on student employability has been a large emphasis for a lot of institutions. As I noted, they're recommended by the American Council on Education for up to 16 credits. So we do see a lot of embedding into coursework in offering an asynchronous or hybrid manner so that students can earn credit as they work towards their degrees. We've also seen models where institutions work with actual local high schools and create on-ramps to degrees and offer credit for prior learning. Howard has a program working with our data analytics certificate, for example, building an on-ramps to degrees. And then we've also seen models of building on top. What I mean by that is, let's say you think one of our certificates is a really nice foundation, but you want to do something more specialized. Like Columbia University, for example, wanted to do construction project management. We don't have a construction project management course. We have a project management course. So they built their own construction project management with specialized knowledge that needed our foundations beneath. So learners took ours and then theirs sequentially to gain that knowledge. Now they put this on the Coursera platform where our certificates are hosted. And so it became a revenue generating stream for their institution. Johns Hopkins, Michigan, among many other institutions have built on top too. And then we've seen a lot of application too in the continuing and professional studies space for upskilling adult learners too. So lots of different models. And we've seen this to go to student organizations host this. We've seen learnathons. So what I mean by that is like a short period where there's a focus on AI. This took off heavily during National AI Literacy Day for a month. Like the Texas A&M University system, for example, focused on faculty and staff AI upskilling, had hundreds complete the Google AI professional certificate and was quite successful. They're going to do it again, I believe, in the fall with students. But there's a lot of models that you can leverage to roll this out on campus. Typically, I think what's most successful is finding a home for it. Whether it's a faculty champion who wants this in their courses or an office on campus, like whether it's a career center or academic affairs. And once someone really champions it, that's usually how it becomes more successful on campus. Okay, I know that was a lot. That was the training piece. That was bucket one. We're moving now into bucket 2. This is our no-cost Gemini for Education Fundamentals offering. I will note we have a workspace team that could cover this in a lot more depth, typically with an IT team. So today's will be the more abbreviated, high-level version. But if you move forward with this, typically your IT team would connect with our workspace team. So again, this gives you a no-cost access to Gemini for Education and Gemini Notebook. And this, again, has the privacy and security protections. So your data is not used or human reviewed to train models, not used for advertising. It's encrypted at rest, in transit by default. It supports compliance with FERPA, GDPR, among others, and is not shared, your data. So it's really great for security. If you're concerned about your students potentially putting institution data into a tool like this, using the enterprise grade version could be a really great solution for you. And so we typically recommend that first institutions set this up with our workspace team and then direct learners to the particular tool of choice. Gemini Notebook, if you haven't had a chance to play around with it, if you didn't hear me earlier on the call and joined a little late, this is formerly Notebook LM, is a really powerful tool for really anyone on campus, from students, researchers, faculty, staff. But it has great features if you're an auditory learner and want your own podcast. And you can even interrupt that podcast and ask a question. It sounds so natural with two hosts. They pause and it's a very, doesn't sound even like it is AI sometimes. The video overviews I love personally. I'm a visual learner. And so you can get a custom length video in your own style. So it's a really nice way to learn a topic. And with Gemini Notebook, you're uploading your own sources. So if a professor gives students certain PDF handouts throughout the semester or certain videos to watch, they can upload all of these into Gemini Notebook. So it's not hallucinating. It's not looking at the whole web. It's looking at what you gave it and developing these videos and overviews from that, not from the whole, the worldwide possibilities here. It can do flashcards. Those are super helpful for exam prep and reinforcing material. It can do quizzes, infographics, slide decks, I think are super cool. I'm awful with designing things. I leverage a designer heavily for any presentations, or now Gemini Notebook, because they actually look pretty good, really fast. So for students who are, creating presentation decks, Gemini Notebook can be really helpful, and they can focus on the content rather than the design if they're not, in the design space. It's multimodal. So you can upload, I know I mentioned a couple of things like videos and PDFs, but of course you can do images, Google Docs, web URLs, MP4 files, among other things, and get back in the format you get it. I mentioned some of these, but there's others as well, too. So that is the overview of what is available in terms of the tools, the training, and then in terms of the learning network, we again have that once you join the Accelerator, institutions do share how they're actually leveraging these. I shared a few of the different models, but we love when institutions share what's working for them. What have they learned? And help others move faster together. So this is the same QR code that I shared earlier to actually apply to the Accelerator. And our team is happy to answer any questions. We'll have time for questions now, but also I wanted to share our email address with you. This goes to Joseph and I, so we're both on the call here too, but would love to answer questions as they come up. Just want to emphasize that we recognize rolling out AI on a campus is a big task, and we're really here to support and want to help. So I will go ahead and I'm going to minimize the screen so I can see you all as I answer questions. All right. Let's see. Does anyone have questions? Want to hop off mute?
This is Michelle Gertis over at Rockhurst, and I'm sorry if I misunderstood, so I just wanted to get this straight.
Sure.
So I'm kind of attending for my supervisors who kind of wanted to see what this was all about. So if I'm understanding it correctly, um, either one of them or someone from our IT department needs to enroll in this program because they would have the signatory ability to do that. Once they do that, then we get pretty much approved or it gets released to the university for them to roll out how they choose with the faculty or students or whomever. But it's not something where the faculty could on the back end say, hey, I heard about this cool program. I want to go take the AI course. So somehow on the internet they found it, they go take the course. It's not like that. This is something where I need to tell them someone from the university has to enroll on our behalf.
Yeah, that's a great question, Michelle, and thanks for clarifying that. So correct. So first off, it technically is available on Coursera. Anyone can sign up. However, that's at a cost. That has $49 a month. We're making it free through the Accelerator. So correct. If you want it for free, which is the goal of this call to bring these resources for free to Missouri institutions, then yes, the institution first does need to sign up before it becomes available to your entire campus community. Now, who that person is does vary by institution. We, unfortunately, at Google don't know exactly who has signatory authority. We've seen this be titles from presidents to provosts to CIOs to chief academic officers to like deans. It really can vary a lot by institution. And we're happy to try to work with you to figure out who that might be. And if someone applies and they don't have that authority, we also don't just like reject them and never get in touch again. We follow up to try to get the right contact. But then once they and sometimes it's like the CIO too. So from the workspace side, it's almost always the IT team working with the workspace. So if you want the tools, almost always IT. If you want the training, that can sit in so many various places. Sometimes it's literally in a department. They just want to do the cybersecurity certificate. Sometimes it's campus wide and they want to be in career services. So who signs up initially for the accelerator is someone typically in C-suite. And then from there, they decide, do we want to do training, tools, both? And you sort of get access to all the resources from there. Did that sort of answer your question?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, great. I see another in the chat. Can most faculty use these resources without the need to have pro accounts? Yes. So no pro account is needed to use education workspace fundamentals. Everything in it is free to use this version. There is a paid version that is a pro version. You don't have to pay for any of the stuff that we're talking about today, but it exists. Um, I see. Oh, sorry, you have a question there, Tilo.
Yes, I think someone else also asked this in the chat. Will this slide deck be available after this meeting for everyone? Okay, perfect.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I missed that there.
Yes, and I'll send out the recording. There were quite a few people who wanted to receive the information in addition to the deck. So we'll share that out with everybody who was invited.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay. So I see a question on if Google for Education isn't our platform, we're a Microsoft shop. How does this work? The short answer is our workspace team can work with you and figure out based on your setup how it might work. A lot of it depends on what your IT teams will allow and want to support on campus, if anything. What we've seen a lot is a lot of interest in Gemini Notebook. There's been Microsoft shops that they don't want the rest of it. They don't want Gmail accounts for their students, but they want Gemini Notebook. And there's a way to flip everything else off and just do Gemini Notebook. You do need to first set up the initial instance in Workspace, like the IT team would do that with our Workspace team. But once that's set up, you can flip on Gemini Notebook for your entire campus. It is a pretty technical solution with Workspace and your IT team, but it can be done if you have like approvals internally to do that. Our team can help support there.
I'm a Gemini notebook user, hundreds and hundreds of them,
Sure.
little things on there. Is that going to mess up with my account if I try to change that? I don't want to lose what I've had. So if our institution goes with that, how do I work with that from
Yeah.
institutional or private?
Great question. I want to make sure I get you the right answer and don't want to say anything incorrect. I would want the specialist on Gemini Notebook to answer that. I don't believe it would, but again, I wouldn't want to risk you losing anything really important. Typically, I think they can ensure that it's just a plan change rather than like any data lost. But again, like let's make sure to connect offline and make sure we get you the accurate answer there.
Okay, yeah, and just the pro account, just to make sure that I don't lose anything on my pro account. Yeah.
Yeah. If you
Thank
have a pro account, I don't think you'd want to switch to the workspace fundamentals because that has more features. It is paid. You're right. So like if
Right.
you want, it's like a downgrade in that sense. Going to free. It's the value of you're going to free, but you do lose some features going from pro to the free one.
Right. If this sits though in my office or in the office that I work at and I'm teaching it because I teach the AI, I don't want to have that messed up is what I'm guessing.
Understood.
If you could find
Yeah.
that out.
Noted. Yeah, let's connect offline and figure that
Okay,
out.
awesome. Thank you.
Great. Any other questions? Great question. Is this training and certifications based on Gemini or is it agnostic on the AI tool? So we sort of have two. We have AI Essentials, which is product agnostic in nature. You can use Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, you name it, your favorite Gen AI tool. Now, the Google AI Professional Certificate is specific to the Google suite of products. And it does go over like AI Studio, Gemini Notebook, among other Google products. So if you're unable to teach in Gemini, AI Essentials might be a better fit. You still can do AI Professional Certificate, and then when you go to the labs, open up a different tool. But everything is shown in Gemini, actually, in both AI Essentials and AI Professional Certificate. It's still shown in ours, even if it's product agnostic, but you can choose any Gen AI tool to complete it in, if that makes sense. Any other live or typed questions here?
I would say, Caroline, as folks digest the great information that you've presented and come up with questions that surface on their campus, if you want to forward those to me, and I'll put my email in the chat. I'm the person who made the appointment. Then I can summarize those and get them to Caroline to get them to the right folks. I have Diana Fordham's question from MSSU, but if there are any others, I'm happy to make that.
Great. Thanks, Rochelle. And yeah, I think Joseph also put our AI for EDU Accelerator email in the chat too. So
Okay,
if you
great.
have something super specific or one-off that you just don't want to chat about with the whole group, totally understand, and we would love to support offline as well.
Wonderful. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to be respectful of time if no one else has questions. But in short, thank you all for attending. The goal here really is to make these free resources available to you all to help wherever you are in your AI journey. If this can support your students, faculty, or staff in any way, so whatever fits, if it fits, we're here to support. So thank you so much for your time today, and we hope to hear from you soon.